Don't you hate it when the kids leave things hanging around?
Adam's making sure your next break isn't from tripping over their stuff. Some ripper ideas to style up an entire room.
And all in a weekend. Why not give it a go?
Grow your own veggies no matter where you live. And Dr. Harry takes on a serial sock stealer who loves a good pong.
Again, don't you hate it when the kids leave things hanging around? It's actually a hazard, I'll tell you what. I'm getting older. I used to be able to do that quite easily. Now, I'll put this to the side because this is more my style. So the idea is to get them off the floor and onto the wall. To do that, I've got 2 pieces of 190 by 19 dress pine and some 25mm dowel. The first step is to mark it up and temporarily screw these together. With my 4 screws temporarily holding this together, I've already marked my 45-degree angles away from those screws, so now I'm going to use my drop saw to cut them. If you don't have a drop saw, you can use a handsaw or a circular saw. My 2 45-degree angles cut. Now I can cut up my 25mm Tassie oak dowel. I need 10 at 220 and 6 at 140. With our dowels all cut, we're now ready to mark out where they go on our timber. So with a combination square, I'm going to be marking in 35mm from each edge and drawing 2 lines down. Now I'm marking up where the supports go. With those lines marked, next I want to mark out where our skateboards go. So for that, I'm going to be starting at one of the long points and measuring down 80mm, and from there, I'll make 5 spaces 200mm apart. With the 5 200 spacings marked, now I can mark out for where the scooters go. For that, we need to offset our lines. So starting from our last mark, we'll go 85mm and then 140 and continue that until I get to the end of the timber. Now this rack will end up holding 5 skateboards and 3 scooters. With all our measurements marked along this edge, I now want to transfer them to our 2 parallel lines that we did earlier. For that, I'm just using my combination square set on a 45-degree angle. With all our intersecting points marked, we're now ready to start drilling out for the dowel. For that, I'm just using a 25mm spade bit. Now you can see I've got some tape on there, and that's set to the depth of 1 piece of timber, because I only want to drill through the 1 piece. And the way it works, you just have this little flag on the end, and when that flicks the timber away, you know you're at the right depth. Now, the reason why I drilled these holes with these 2 bits laminated together is because we've been left with the centre mark on every hole from the tip of our spade bit, which means now I can change the bit over to a 4mm drill bit, drill the holes right through, and that will be the centre mark of where we put our screw to hold the dowel in place. With all the prep done, we are now ready to start assembling. Feeling nice and solid. And you just want to make sure that you keep the glue away from all the holes so they're nice and clean. But before we put our dowels in, I'm just going to go over everything with a sander. That way we'll get rid of all our marks and those sharp edges. And we're ready for the dowel. The way it works, the shorter ones are for the scooter, and they go into the holes that are offset. And then the longer ones are for the skateboard, and they go into the holes that are on a 45-degree angle and in line. I'm just going to glue and screw them together. but you just want to make sure that you pre-drill into the dowel. That way, you'll prevent the timber from splitting and also cracking the head off your screw. Beautiful. All that's left is to make this look pretty before we hang it. And I think that is looking fantastic. The last thing to do is find somewhere to put it. And once you've found a place where you want to put it on the wall, to fix it off, you just want to sit a level on the 45-degree cut. Get the bubble in between the two lines. Once you're happy with it, you can fix it off.
Well, the kookaburras are laughing behind me because this is a bit of a joke, isn't it? Yeah. You know what it is? It's the odd sock bin. I wonder if you've got one at your place. We have. We have one for sure. They just go missing for no reason at all. And they blow off the clothesline. If you've got kids, they leave one somewhere, you know. They get under the bed, they get anywhere, and sometimes they're even stuck in your shoes. But in this particular household, there's another culprit.
I gotta make you mine.
Well, this is the family. This is the McDonald family. Old McDonald had a farm, but this family's got a dog. So over here we've got Jade, we've got Eli, we've got...
Tilly.
And?
Brendan.
There you go. We've got them all. My memory's terrible. And the dog's name is?
Wookie.
Wookie! And he's a Labradoodle, guilty as charged.
He doesn't eat the socks either.
No, he doesn't eat
No,
socks.
he doesn't ruin them.
What does he do with the socks when he pinches them?
He just chews them onto that table.
He just grabbed one. He ran past you when you were talking before with the sock.
He just went in like that one.
Yeah. Just randomly.
This one.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, randomly.
Exhibit number 1. The sock.
Smell disgusting.
Hey.
Daddy sock.
That's my sock.
Oh, you want it though? Yes, you want it.
Yeah.
So this is Dad's sock. But I think Wookie steals everybody's socks, not just Dad's socks. Okay, could you each take your left sock off, please? I'm just testing whether this pooch has a penchant for a particular paw. No. No. Give. Good. You win, Dad. Yours are the pongiest. Question number 1. Why does Wookie do this?
The sock's pong smells like us, and he really loves us.
I think it's attention-seeking when he's not being played with. He comes and grabs something and hides, wanting us to come after him.
OK. So it's an interesting situation. He takes the sock, but he doesn't destroy it. He just accumulates it. So would you, for argument's sake, find like half a dozen socks under that table or just one?
Most days.
Oh, like, yeah, or 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about when Wookie first presented a sock to you.
The very first sock, I was sitting on my bedroom floor calling him.
1, 2, 3, 4. And hell yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times on the way. 1, 2, 3.
And then I sort of gave it back to him and he ran off with it. I didn't think it would turn into what it has.
No. Do you know something? A dog has something of yours. Could be a sock or a shoe or something like that. It's a human thing as dog toys. And you go, it's only an old sock. It's only an old shoe. Don't worry about it, you know. And the dog doesn't know the difference between a $30 pair of sneakers and a $900 pair of Gucci shoes that you bought last week and have only worn twice because they smell of you.
Yes, I have a pair of those.
So, well, wouldn't it be a good idea if we put the socks out of Wookie's reach?
Wow, what a revelation.
So if you leave the door open to the bedroom and to the laundry, what do you think Wookie thinks?
That he can just go in and steal whatever he wants. Free buffet!
Exactly right. So it seems to me you're almost serving it up to him on a platter. what do we do?
Shut all the doors.
That's the simplest solution to so many problems, isn't it? So there must be time for one more thing, and that, of course, is solution. You know what that is?
A door
Closer.
Because everyone forgets to close the door.
Close the doors.
Closes the doors. And we need them on bedrooms. We need them on the laundry. So we do one simple thing. It's called deny access. When I take something away from a dog, I feel a bit mean and miserable. So I want you to shut your eyes. You ready? Put your hands out.
Shut your eyes, Tilly.
And I'm going, don't open your eyes, but I want you to feel it and tell me if you think it feels like a sock. Feel it.
That's a
We might have to take the squeaky out.
toy.
You can open your eyes now, darling.
But it's a toy, particularly for walking.
Not for you.
The socks are to put on your feet, not in the dog's mouth, OK? Same thing applies to shoes and everything else under the sun. And there's only one other thing. So I thought the one thing you might all need was some socks.
Free socks.
Thank you.
We happened to notice that this was the favourite colour. Well, on that note, I'm going to sock it to everyone around there and get the heck out of here. Ups and A's, catch you later.
So you want to grow your own food, but you don't think you've got the space for a big veggie patch. Well, what if you could grow it in a bag or a box? Now, I remember growing mushrooms in a kit just like this as a kid, and then frying them up on toast to get that whole box-to-plate experience. And you can get lots of different kits, and they all work in a similar way, so just make sure you read the instructions on the box. But let's get this baby open. The mushrooms don't like direct sunlight, so it's great if you don't have a sunny patch outdoors because you can grow them inside. Now, let's see what we've got in here. Just fold down the edges of your box. You'll find we've got a little bit of casing mix here, so just pop that to the side. Okay, so see this block underneath? We want it to be kind of frosty white or grey looking. That's a sign that the mycelium, the mouldy looking fungus, is colonising. So if you get your box and it's still brown, then just pop it aside for a week or so, come back and take a look at it. You want it to look exactly like this.
You're my supernova.
Okay, so now what we need to do is lay that casing mix evenly out over the top. Once you've got that mix spread out, just give it a little bit of a spray with a spray bottle. You want the mix to be a little bit like a damp sponge. I found with mine, I was spraying it with water at least once a day. You'd probably need to do it more if you're in a warmer location. Okay, now to find the perfect place to grow them. So you want to find a place that's out of direct light and away from drafts. Now, I've seen people grow them in the laundry, in cupboards that are open from time to time, but I personally like to grow mine in the garage. But wherever it is, you don't want it to be too dark. A little bit of filtered light is ideal. Now, you need to have a little bit of patience because it can take up to 21 days for these little mushrooms to appear. But once they do appear, they can double in size quickly, so keep an eye on them. And under the right conditions, you can be harvesting mushrooms for up to 3 months. So why not give it a go at home and have some fun? So from box to bag. So now I'm going to show you how to grow potatoes in a small space. Now, I love growing potatoes at home because, well, superior flavour with them being homegrown, but also you can grow unique varieties that you can't find in the shops or that just add that little bit something different to the garden and the plate. So things like the royal blue potato, which has that gorgeous sapphire coloured skin. It's really good for chunky chips. You might want to grow some of the good old Kipfler potatoes, which is that elongated potato that has that really pleasant nutty flavour. It's great boiled and tossed into your salads. All right, so this is a potato bag, and you can see that it's got some good drainage holes at the bottom. It's nice and compact, so you can put it on a sunny patio or balcony. Now, this fits about 40 litres, so you get quite a lot of potatoes out of a bag like this. Now is the time to plant our potatoes. You just want to wait until the risk of frost has passed in your area. Just make sure that you're not tempted to get potatoes that have sprouted from the bottom of the fridge. It's important that you use what's called a certified seed potato, so something like this. And they look just like this, so they look like a little potato. I've actually got this one started by putting it indoors in indirect light just to get some sprouts forming to get a head start on potato season. So I've got about 150 mil of compost in the bottom there. And I'm going to plant my seed potatoes about 50 millimetres deep. Now you can see that the eyes on the potato are where that growth comes from. So if you like, you can place them so that the strongest shoot is facing upwards. Now at this point, I'm going to roll down the edge of the bag just to allow maximum light and water in there. Now you want to keep that compost slightly moist, and then as the foliage emerges, you top it up with more compost. As the foliage grows even more, you top it up again until the compost level is about 2.5 centimetres from the top. And don't forget to feed them with a complete fertiliser that promotes vigorous, healthy potatoes. So eventually it will look like this with a nice clump of green foliage poking out the top. And one of those little seed potatoes will yield up to 8 to 10 other potatoes, so you can see it's quite a productive little unit. And you'll know that your potatoes are ready to harvest when the stems and the foliage start to yellow and die down. And the best thing about a bag like this, it has an opening flap just at the bottom here, which makes harvesting super easy. Box done, bag done. Now we're going to grow some herbs, and you don't need a lot of space for this project either. So I'm going to create a herb tower. The key is to choose matching pots in descending sizes so that you can stack them all on top of each other and then plant them out. Now obviously this is going to be a nice uniform look. And when you're growing edible plants in pots, one of the best things that you can do is start with a good quality potting mix like this. Now this one contains all of the organic material that your plants and your soils need. Because it's been designed by horticulturalists, you get a bountiful crop that can be up to twice as big. It also contains a granular fertiliser which can feed your plants for up to 3 months. Okay, so our bottom pot here, we're going to fill it about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way with our potting mix. Then we can position the next sized pot on top. You see how we're starting to form a tower? We can put more potting mix in there and then get stuck into some planting.
On a day with nothing planned, I've been looking through this hourglass.
I find it works to plant each ring out as you go.
I feel the sunlight on my eyelids, feet are buried in the sand, buried in the sand. I feel the sunlight.
All right, now the fertiliser that's already in the potting mix will get your plants off to a great start. But if you really want the best out of your crop, then you want to use this stuff right here every 3 months. And as you can see, it's tailor-made for tomatoes, vegetables and herbs, so you're guaranteed to get a bumper crop. Now, when you're putting a tower like this together, you might want to consider the types of herbs that you really use in your cooking, and then make sure you position it in a sunny spot close to the house for easy picking. So there you have it, a few ideas on how you can still grow produce at home, even if you're short on space, be it in a bag, a box, or a tower like this.
You must know by now, I love to experiment and create with paint. It is the one magic tool that will tie together a whole bunch of mismatched objects. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today with these bits and bobs to add a bit of life and sparkle to this end of the lounge room. Two sisters own this cute apartment, and like me, they love a bit of op shopping and buying things online. This is one of their most recent purchases, a big old sideboard. Now, I love the scale, and it has excellent storage, which is what everyone needs in small space living. What I don't love is the colour. It's just dark, it's a little bit depressing and overpowers this end of the room. So what I want to do is give it a facelift using one of my favourite paint finishes. give your furniture a light sand. It will help the paint to stick. If you're going to go on with a light top coat colour like I am, it's best to use an undercoat. You know, if you're organised, you can easily do a project like this in one weekend. So what I would do is I'd shop for the paint during the week, maybe on Friday night while you're watching the telly, Better Homes and Gardens. You could do this step, the undercoat, and then Saturday morning you will be ready to go. And by Sunday dinner, piece will be done, painted, and your house will look beautiful. You see stuff like this in op shops and garage sales all the time. You've probably even got bits and pieces like this in the back of your cupboard. So long as you like the shape, you can actually bring everything together with colour. So using my chalky finish spray paint, this is going to be transformed into the most stylish collection. The secret to getting a drip-free, perfect finish is not to be too liberal with your coat. So get one even coat on and then take it off and set it aside to dry. Get on with the other pieces and you can come back and do a second coat. Well, that's a pretty effective way to jazz up op shop vases. Now, what I need is a beautiful piece of art to go behind them on the wall above the cabinet. Now, this is an op shop frame. It's missing its glass, but the frame is still in good nick. So what I want to do is create beautiful texture for the wall, something soft and subtle to go behind the vases.
You know I keep it squeaky clean.
What's so great about corrugated cardboard is when you tear it across, you get all of this fantastic ribbing, beautiful texture. Now, if you weave it together like a basket weave pattern, it can actually form really great contrast in the background.
I got you inside my head.
And then with the other pieces, over, under, just normal weaving. That itself looks like a piece of fabric. Painted up, you could frame that alone. But if you want to get some other shapes, you can just have an experiment just with plain pieces of cardboard. You'll see it's kind of laminated and you can tear it apart. So you can expose some of the ribbing and you can also have smooth areas. So when that's painted, you get this nice contrast. Admittedly, it doesn't really look that good at this stage, just a little bit patchy. So it's the paint that brings it together. So this is the important stage. You will need to seal it. Again, I'm just using the prep coat, the same paint that I used for the cabinet. And as for the colours, well, it really is up to you, but I would take inspiration from other things in the room. That way it'll all go together perfectly. And then I'll carry those colours through onto the sideboard. The name is a bit of a giveaway. Chalk Effect paint is smooth, it's velvety. It's the perfect type of paint that you would use on old furniture. Because of that velvety finish, it's very forgiving. So if you've got any dings or nicks, it actually just covers over, and being that matte finish, it won't highlight them. Now, this is one of the new colours in the range, and we've chosen green because it ties in beautifully with a lot of the accents already in the room. And I think just having that contrast on the inside just adds that nice little surprise. When you open the drawer, beautiful. This is such a pretty green. I'm using it for the inside of the cabinet and the doors as well. The old knobs that came off the cabinet before, well, they were just too pretty to throw away. So instead, what I'm doing here is just repurposing them. It's a smart little storage idea, which situated on the back of the door is the perfect spot for your keys, maybe even your bag, and don't forget your pooch. Good for the dog lead too. Now let's take care of the rest of it. The old sideboard, well, it was picked up for a song online, and look at it now. It has come up so beautifully, so much better than the big old brown cabinet that was there before. I love this colour scheme. It's so elegant and understated, and it fits in beautifully with the room. So if you've got bits and pieces lying around your house that you've fallen out of love with, well, look at the power of paint. It can completely transform things, and all in a weekend.
Wisteria has to be one of my all-time favourite plants, let alone climbers. In my garden, I've got it over this pergola. Now, this gives us protection from the summer sun. We get lovely dappled light during winter, but the thing I love most about it is the amazing show-stopping flowers. The pinks, whites and purples of this highly fragrant flower really are magnificent. People come from all over the world to catch a glimpse of it. And in Japan, it even has its own festival, which Graham visited 2 years ago. Wisteria really likes an organic, rich soil because that holds on to moisture. You can give yours that by adding lots of compost when you plant it. It's also a super vigorous climber as well. I can't say that I planted this one, it's about 20 years old, but I did inherit it on a collapsed pergola. So I used something really sturdy with these recycled posts, and I've propped it up, and it's been doing really well ever since. In Europe, it's called the 10 and 2 plant because that's when you prune it. So you prune it just before flowering in February and again in October. But in Australia, this plant is really so vigorous, you need to prune it throughout the year. You take off any whippy growth that gets in the way. But to maximize the flowers, you need to prune it just before it blooms. Now you can see these little points here. Now they're the buds. They're going to turn into flowers, and we've got them all over this section here. And I'm going to remove the end up to this point. Now you may say, why are you doing that? Why are you throwing flowers away? But I want this plant to put all the energy that it would spread over all these buds into the remaining ones. It's going to make them bigger and much more impressive. The one thing to remember about this prune, and it can be quite time-consuming, is you're not actually reducing the size. That gets done throughout the year. We're simply trying to maximize the blooms. And you can see the size of this pergola. I'm never going to get into the middle of it, so I just ignore it and I focus my energy around the outside. That's going to give us really lovely big flowers right in the eye line. And there you have it. It doesn't look any different, but it's not supposed to, because in 4 weeks' time, this is going to look absolutely sensational. A good wheelbarrow is every gardener's bread and butter. But what if yours has gone a bit stale like this one? We've got a flat, squeaky tyre, it's covered in old mortar, and the frame's all rusty. I could chuck it out, but, you know, it's nothing a bit of TLC won't fix. Your wheelbarrow is made up of 3 basic parts. You've got the tyre, the frame, and the tub, and I'm going to clean up my tub first. Now, this is plastic, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a knock, and that's going to loosen up all those mortar and dirt parts and get them off. If you had a metal tub, you'd treat it the same as the frame, but I'll get to that in a sec. Done. Now I'm going to take the wheel off before I do anything to the frame, so when I respray it, it doesn't get covered in paint. Now these can be a little bit tricky. You might need to spray it with some lubricant, or in the worst case scenario, cut it off with a grinder and use a new bolt. Now, we all know rust is the enemy of metal, and that's what's degrading this wheelbarrow. It's not too bad, though, so I'm just going to give it a wire brush to get rid of any flaky bits. I'll then run over it with some wet and dry sandpaper. With the sanding done, it's time to give it a good wipe down. You want to get rid of any dust that's left over. I'm then going to use an etch primer on the bare bits of metal and the galvanised so the new paint sticks to it. Now, to finish off our frame, I'm using some fancy red paint. Now, I'm covering all the frame with this. It's going to protect it from rusting again. As a bit of a tip, if you don't want paint all over your tub, use a bit of cardboard to protect it. I mean, this is pretty old, so I'm not going to be too fussed. Now, the wheel on your barrow may be in good condition. A good way to keep it going is to grease the bearing and keep it well pumped up. This one, though, is well and truly past it. It's almost bald. There's holes in the side of the tyre, the frame's completely dented, and the bearing's seized. So it's cheaper for me just to buy a new one. Now I'm going to stick this on when the frame's dry, and then we'll be good to go. And there we have it. That's as good as new. And with our rather glamorous looking wheelbarrow, it's time for some glamorous gardening jobs, like cleaning out the chicken coop. Ah, hello, my friend. I always have been good at picking up chicks. You ready? Let's go.